What's going on? It's Benny from Avoid, and you're watching Alive and Fucking Loud, baby.
What's up, Benny? Thank you so much for joining us today. We had a little bit of technical difficulties earlier, but we're going to work through it and we're going to say fuck it. So, man, I can't thank you enough for joining us. I want to get to it and ask the hard question. What's the pandemic life been like for the band?
Pandemic life has been fucking crazy, man. I mean, it was weird because we were on the road like when everything hit. We played a show in Ohio on like the day before everything shut down. And I remember we got the notice like, all right, we can play our show. It got capped at like 50 people or something like that. And we were playing this tiny little bar show in Cleveland. And then they were like, in Ohio, like shutting down at midnight, everything's closed for 2 weeks. And it was just like, yeah, fuck, dude, this is crazy. And so then we beelined home in the middle of we had 5 weeks left of tours. And then we had the whole rest of the year planned out. And then, but for that run, and then we just went home, and then we started kind of doing our thing. And then we got lucky with NASCAR Heat, the video game. We had submitted for that kind of while we were touring and stuff like that, and didn't really hear anything of it. And then a couple weeks into the pandemic, they said that they wanted to pick up a couple songs for the soundtrack to the video game. And then that kind of started a little bit of a chain reaction from then on out, with then getting Octane and then getting all these other things. And it was definitely really the giant blessing for us to have some of these opportunities that came up.
So what would you say was the giant turning point for you guys? Would you say it would be the video game or Octane? Because I know Octane, you guys did a really badass live concert, like a virtual concert. And that was my first time I ever got to see you guys perform. And it was just holy shit, these guys are for real.
Thank you, man. I mean, it's weird. And I'm not to fucking be that guy. I mean, I don't even necessarily think the turning point has happened yet, per se. Yeah. It's awesome to have some of the attention that we have now that we obviously have never had before, and not to take that for granted or put that at the end of the day. It's we're still a very, very small band that hasn't even scratched the surface of what we want to accomplish and the things that we want to do. And so this is an awesome recipe to hopefully keep our foot on the throttle and keep the fire going to make it break. But I mean, I think it was a culmination of everything. You know what I mean? Like if we would have just gotten one or the other or this or that, it would have still been cool. But it was the fact that kind of all around the same time, we could drop the video game, and then we could drop these music videos, and then we could drop Octane, and then we could drop these virtual concerts. And we got to have a pretty consistent stream of content throughout the year. Mm-hmm. And I think that did a lot in a time of like I said, bands kind of in a weird point where everyone was figuring out to either not put the record out or figure what's going on. Are we gonna be able to tour in the fall? That's where everyone no one really knew what to do. And so we got lucky with just being consistent during that whole time. And you could always kind of look to us to have something coming out,
So what was the I gotta ask, so Song About James, you wrote that about the Jeopardy guy?
Correct.
Okay, so how did this come about?
When we were writing songs for the burner, it was about the time where he was on that insane Jeopardy run. Right. And my girlfriend, it was super into it and got me really into it. And it was just super fun to watch. And I was just having a fun time, following that while writing for the album. And then he lost. And then it was just kind of funny. We had written this instrumental with our buddy Mac. And it was we are feeling really strong about the instrumental. And then it was that night he lost, everything was going on, and I was just damn, what does it feel like to lose a fucking almost most historic run in Jeopardy history? Yeah. And I kind of just put myself in those shoes for a second and wrote the chorus, and then we were able to kind of shape the song around it. But that's how I like to write a lot of my lyrics personally, is is not to, because it's like kind of joking, but it is like real emotion. You know what I mean?
Oh,
We've
for
all
sure, yeah.
felt like you know what I mean? Well, not Jeopardy, but when you lose something you really love, or you're not able to achieve the thing you want to achieve. And that is kind of like, I like to touch base on those subjects, but in like a goofy, like more relatable manner. Cause that's how my outlook of life is kind of just laugh everything off and do it. So rather than maybe being like crazy serious with the wording and whatnot, I like to make fun of it almost, you know?
Yeah, because I'm assuming you've never been a hostage at a beach house party, have you?
No, that's again, it's just a bunch of little like, it's fun ways to disguise real shit, you know?
Yeah, that I can definitely say that your lyrics are one that like people can connect with, but in like a fun way, because like you're thinking about it and you're singing along to it once you've learned the song, and you're not really understanding what you're singing until you're sitting back and thinking about it, and you're like, oh shit, like this guy's saying something right now.
And the biggest thing that I've really I've always wanted to come across with lyrics and the band is I really want to be a vessel. I fucking hate using that word, but like for like use like I want to be the outlook for what you need right then. If you need it to be happy and you're having a great day and you want to drive with the fucking convertible down and enjoy life, like we want to be that band for you. And if you're having a bad day and you need some song to be there for you, we can also be that. And that's what I've also tried to do with the lyrics is obviously everything comes from a very real place, and then it's fun to disguise it with Jeopardy, and like Flashbang is about a NASCAR driver who takes acid.
Dude,
like,
Flashbang is one of those. It's actually on my gym workout mix. That's there, dude. It gets you fucking going. And I'm trying to pull it up right here because there's a line in that specific that song that is just absolutely like you start it and you're like, oh shit, yep, here it goes. All right, let's see. Going down. I've got a feeling of neurotic soul manipulation.
Makes kind of no sense, right?
But it also makes sense.
Exactly.
It also makes sense. And see, that's the thing is, people nowadays invest way too much into like lyricism, and they're like, oh, it has to have some deep meaning, and that's cool and all, but like I feel like with a Void, like you can have a good fucking time rocking out to this shit. And you can, like you said, have the top down, or be at the gym, or sit here in an office space or wherever and just chill. But we need to see Void live on stage, because that Octane live performance was like everyone's introduction to what you guys are all about. And I feel like it really let people see, like, you guys cut loose, you have fun, and you guys have your own style. And I noticed like your bassist, he has like his own playing style. And my daughter, she's 7, and she was watching it, and you know how he kind of like kicks his leg to the side when he's playing, and she's like, why is he doing that? It's cool. And
everyone really likes his little leg kick.
Yeah, so like my 7-year-old likes your leg kick, bro. But it's really cool because I'm based in Kentucky.
Hell yeah.
Our magazine's based out of Buffalo, New York. So where around the Midwest do you want to start playing once you guys have some sort of schedule lined out?
Well, we're very lucky. We're actually going to be coming out that way, hopefully in September, and kind of throughout the rest of the year. We're on some of the festivals this year that are going to start being announced, and
nice.
I can't get too specific with it yet, but you can kind of put the pieces together. But we're gonna be out doing those kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to get our first. We've never really done those festivals before, obviously,
which is ridiculous.
It's so crazy to me, and like I think that's like the weirder thing. And again, not to like take it for granted, but it's like we have no idea how big or small we are right now. It's weird because it's like with touring and stuff like that, it's a decent gauge. You kind of see how many kids are coming out to see you every night and all that. But I don't know, when it's kind of all online and you don't really know, it's like obviously a couple people commented on a thing or whatever, but you don't know if they're gonna come see you live next time, or you're gonna, and so it's like it's been kind of like overwhelming in a way, because it's like, yeah, we're doing arguably the best we ever have, but it doesn't feel per se any different, because you know what I mean, it's still the pandemic. We're working different jobs than we were working before the pandemic, because all of us worked in music. And so it's a hard mindset to get into, but I'm grateful for it as well, because it's like nothing's gone to our head, obviously, because like I said, we don't know how big we are. We're just here to keep writing some songs, and we're very stoked that people might want to come see us. Like our last shows were at we played in the basement of a pizza restaurant. We played in a rundown abandoned church and that shitty tiny little bar in Ohio. And now some of our first shows back are going to be at some of like the bigger festivals in the US. And that's just like what the fuck, bro? Yeah. That's crazy.
Well, you guys deserve it, man. You guys have been kicking ass on the airwaves, and I know how it feels, man, because like the last concert that I photographed was Alter Bridge back in February of last year in Nashville.
Bitchin', hell yeah.
And it's like, I could feel Mark Tremonti's breath, in my on my face, and now it's like a year and some odd months later, and it's like, man, I really miss that shit. And so all these festival lineups have come out, and we're eagerly awaiting right over here is Louder Than Life.
Yeah.
So we're really hoping that maybe Avoid will be at Louder Than Life.
I also really hope Avoid will be at Louder Than Life.
Because that's right in our backyard. So we would have to set this thing up in person and definitely, pound a few White Claws and hang out.
Yes, yes. We smoke a little weed in a non-legal state. I like always doing that. But can fucking come after me or something,
I will say Louder Than Life is one of the biggest festivals that I've ever seen in my life. We did the fairgrounds host a Bourbon Beyond, and that's also like a really super massive festival with we had Foo Fighters. 2019 we had Foo Fighters, Robert Plant from Zeppelin.
Wow.
Who else we have? Zach Brown Band. It was just, it's like
incredibly just massive artists.
Yeah. Joan Jett was there. It was insane.
Wow.
So they have this trifecta of festivals in the same spot Louder Than Life is. They have a country festival, the Bourbon and Beyond Festival, and then Louder Than Life. And they're hyping up this year's Louder Than Life, of course, with the pandemic happening and everything. So we're wondering, if you play Louder Than Life, what would be the opening song you guys start with?
Whew, that's a good question. So it's funny because we're kind of reinventing our entire approach to our live show once things get back. And again, it's hard to even say anything for certain because we're tweaking it in the moment. But I mean, we definitely we love the idea of writing our set list right before we play. That's so funny to me. And it's so, because it's every show is different. You can kind of vibe out the feeling of the day and maybe give the crowd what they need that day.
For sure. And it kind of keeps you on your heels too, in a way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it keeps us on our toes, and it keeps you from playing the same songs in the same order every single night.
Kind of getting in a rut, yeah.
But it would probably be Flashbang. Like you'd probably see us open with Flashbang, or maybe we'd open with the new one just to kind of spark the attention. I don't fucking know. We'd probably be better off going with the hit to open, right?
I mean, they're all hits in my book.
No, yeah, better question. What would you want to hear as an opener for us? That's how we're gonna dictate it.
Man, Flashbang would be almost appropriate, but if you wanted to throw a curveball, probably Hostage at a Beach House Party, just because of how it starts.
Yeah.
It kind of starts with that kind of soft open, and then you're thinking, oh, this is gonna be a
very
song.
Chill with the opening. Yeah.
And then it's fucking tricked you.
Hostage is honestly I love Hostage as a number 2 song. It feels so good because it's you need it at the beginning of the set because it's so hype. But I don't we only time we played Hostage live, we played it at that live stream, obviously. And then when we were on tour before the pandemic hit, we knew how to, obviously we knew how to play Hostage, but we didn't have it in the set. But we loved to like fuck around and like play random shows sometimes when we're on tour, even if they weren't like, we'll go play like the bar next door to the venue we just played if they'll let us, because why not? That's so funny. And we played Hostage in that scenario a couple of times, just like jamming out and playing like a secret show or something and playing it, and it felt really good as a number 2 song.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I know that we all really wish the band all the success in the world, because like I said, man, when we first heard you guys, it was like this is that band that is going to stick around for a while, because I feel like you're that kind of like Rage Against the Machine coming at you, you know, like in your face rock music, and you've got this fucking scream, dude, this like holy shit. I watched that stream and I was like, where did this come from out of this guy?
Thank you, bro.
And that's something like my musical taste has changed over the years from like kind of like a regular rock. And now I'm listening to bands like Eminence, Era, you know, some of the harder shit. And then you guys came along and like, I was like, oh my God.
We want to be the nice gap between the two, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's a perfect balance too. And that, like what I was saying with Hostage, you know, you guys really found a way to write music and kind of keep people vested and think, oh, it might be something else. And then hook, line, and sinker, you're a hostage at a beach house party. And it's
I appreciate that, bro, for real. And definitely, like, it means a lot that comes across, you know, because that's definitely like partially what we tried to do. At least it's like we definitely, I don't know, and I'm not even gonna call anyone out by name, but you know, sometimes there's like maybe the more traditional mainstream rock song that might be on Octane or whatnot, and they're just like, it's pretty common structure. You got the intro, a cheesy verse, a cheesy chorus, and then a very end breakdown and then end. And it's like, it's like we just wanted to break up, and not that because we don't necessarily write songs for scenarios, we just see what comes out. But it's like when approaching a song that you kind of know could have more of a commercial element, it's like, how can you make it still fun and not just boring and lazy? Like lazy is the word I would use.
Definitely.
A lot of the stuff that's modern just seems very factory. And it's like, I don't know,
we definitely has that non, you know, conformity sound, because you guys are definitely all in your own lane right now, and that's what sets you guys apart. And I was talking to my boy Charlie about you. He's our editor, and I was like, dude, you've got to check out Avoid. And he was like, okay, I'll give it a spin. And he had just got done listening to Lamb of God, and I was like, I'm telling you, you're gonna shift from Lamb of God to these guys in Avoid, and I'm telling you, you're not ready. And he was like, oh gosh, these guys are young. I was like, I don't care if they're 10, they're about to blow your wig. He texted me later and he was like, holy shit, and sent the emoji with the eyes that are like, you know, like, these guys are here. You know what I mean? So
that means so much, man, for real.
Big Seattle guys, you guys love racing, you love the Mariners, right? Everyone loves the Mariners. We love
the Mariners. We love racing. We love the Seahawks. We want the Sonics back. We love the Kraken. We're here for Seattle, baby.
That's right. And that's a place I've never been, but it's so fitting that you guys are from Seattle, which a lot of people know is like so versatile in their music. And it's a very pivotal place for music, because so much music has come from Seattle. You know, you've got people like Dave Grohl that's come from there. You've got Nirvana. You've got, you know, so much that people don't even realize. And with you guys getting your break here recently, I can only expect more big things to come from the band, and I look forward to it, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's cool. We were very grateful for the area we grew up in. Like, we went to high school, that band Sunny Day Real Estate, which for anyone who doesn't know, that's where half the members from the Foo Fighters came from, the original lineup. came from that band. And yeah, like where Nick and I went to high school, like their band house that they practiced in, like not at the same time, but that was behind the street of our high school. And like the singer of Modest Mouse went to our high school, and like some of the guys from Fleet Foxes. And we're not in a particularly like nice area or anything like that per se. I mean, we're just nice middle class Seattle suburb. It is what, like, and it's cool like when you just kind of look into it and it's like, wow, a lot of big names really did kind of come from up here. And even the ones that you don't realize, I mean, obviously we got Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, list goes on, but I mean, there was a big emo revolution up here too. With
there was,
like
definitely
the Blood Brothers, Gatsby's American Dream, Fall of Troy.
God, Gatsby's American Dream, they're great.
They're fantastic. Like we're so glad. Emery, like so many awesome bands came from up here, man.
Dude, I still rock some Memory. That's funny that you said that because I just built a playlist, the Mustache, the other day, and I had to put some Memory on there. And I'll tell you about the Mustache
later.
You
were big for Christcore. Seattle Christcore was popping for a set.
It's so strange that like people equate with like music and religion and all that, but like I'm telling you, the Christcore genre was just bopping.
It was something else, and it still is.
Yeah, like you had bands like 1,000 Foot Crutch who absolutely still shred. Skillet.
I would say, like, you could kind of put Fit for a King somewhat within that
absolutely
ballpark and stuff like that, and they're having so much success and writing really cool songs. Like, I mean, I don't fucking care what you believe in. It's just funny to me that it's just like, wow, this Christcore thing got so big and is still doing as well as it's doing. I always find that a little funny, you know.
Oh, definitely. And that's the thing about music, man, is that everyone has their niche in it, and there's a place for everybody in music. It's the one place everyone can be accepted.
That's the beauty of it, and that's what it should be about, right? And then that's kind of what makes us beautiful is our differences in taste and differences in opinion and stuff like that to a degree, of course. But it's like, you know what I mean? If everyone thought and felt and did the same things I did, I don't think the world would be very cool. Like, we all got it. We got like that. That's what pushes the envelope, you know?
Definitely. That's why our marriage works, because she's in there and she's like, you know, he does his thing over there and he's kind of weird. And she's carrying our kid and she's rocking out over there doing her thing. I could never do that, you know? We're different, very different in that aspect. I could never be pregnant. Not possible. She handles that.
It's not. Well. You could never do that. Well,
you know, I could never sing like Benny. It's just not possible. So we don't step on toes around here.
Hey, man, you run a great show though, and that's what no one does better than you.
Well, I appreciate that, my friend. I really do. Look, I'm gonna just say this: 2021. Avoid kicks ass.
Yes, sir. Goddamn right. That's what it is.
Raise hell, praise Dale.
Raise hell, praise Dale, and the Hooters car, and Joe Graff Jr., and fucking A, baby.
Well, Benny, thank you so much for joining us today. For those of you who don't know and should know, Avoid has their record right now, The Burn.
And it kicks ass.
It really does. It smokes half of what's out there right now. You could put it on any type of playlist and it would just slap. So
100% better than most bands, guaranteed.
He's not wrong. Download it on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Go to their website. You guys just released some merch, right?
We did. We have a new, I guess it's springtime, isn't it? I guess it is. Spring merch, bitch. Come get it.
Yeah, because I have to grab me a hat and a t-shirt soon. So
yes, sir. There will be lots of merch drops throughout the year too. There's not going to be any shortage. People can get damn well what they need.
Check out their Facebook page. Check out all their socials. Make sure you show Avoid some love. Again, Benny, thank you so much for joining us. You'll have to tell the rest of the guys.
Last minute, like I said, I know we've been playing phone tag for a minute.
Anytime to hang with Benny is great with me. Tell the rest of the guys I said what's up. And maybe soon we'll have them all on here and we'll do like a big ass session here.
Well, hey, maybe we will see you at Louder Than Life, and maybe we can do this in person.
We'll get in trouble.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching today's Alive and Loud, and be sure to stick around for more content very soon.
Hey.